Hey, this is Carl, your host from Beyond the Toolbox, and today I'm here with Marlene Segura. She runs On Top Roof Support. And first off, hey, Marlene, I just want to know, what's On Top Roof Support?
Hey, Carol, thank you so much for having me. On Top Roof Support was created to help companies with their back office and their operational side. A lot of people, I've been in the industry so long, for 10 years already, and I was head of operations for a huge company. And I realized that operations could actually break a company. And I've been seeing it across, speaking to colleagues and people in the industry. And I'm like, that's where I'm good. That's what I'm good at. Let me create something where I can help people and help these companies scale. So on top roof support, we're not consultants. We're not a VA system. We actually live inside of your CRM. We live inside of your business. Think of us as your operations department that's handling everything after the contract is signed.
Okay, so do you guys also do marketing,
No,
like the, so no, marketing back end, or is just fulfillment, sales?
we don't even do sales. It's after the contract is signed. So we do not do any type of marketing.
Okay.
After the contract is signed, that's our handoff, and we take it from there. We ensure that you have permits. We ensure that you have your materials are ordered, your dumpsters are scheduled. We do all that logistical coordination. On top of that, we also follow through with the insurance workflow. Obviously, we do all of that. We handle all of that. We handle your collections, we handle your reviews, we handle your manufacturer warranties, everything, and customer communication as well.
Wow. Okay. I want to pick your brain later on insurance and how that's been in 2026 because that's definitely been rough. But I was curious to know. So I remember you making a LinkedIn post saying a lot of companies lose money because of their back office or the way it's currently being run. Could you kind of explain what's the difference between those
That's
companies who are losing a bunch of money and those?
okay. So, pretty much a company where they lose the money. So, they need to understand one thing that we all need to understand is that sales is going to bring in revenue, but your operations side is going to bring you the profit. So if you have this job sitting in status for X amount of days, let's say for 15 days, you're already behind. The homeowner starts getting upset. They're going to start finding nitpicking things, and they're going to start leaking money slowly. Slowly, they start leaking the profitability. Why? Because if your permit stood there too many days, or if your dumpster, let's say a dumpster was sitting on site, nobody took care of it, the dumpster lasted so many days, now you're getting billed X. If your QC wasn't in place, wasn't doing their job correctly, or did not take enough pictures, and a homeowner is now reaching out to you and telling you, hey, you ruined my fascia. We're like, no, but if you don't have any pictures because they don't have a clear system on how to do things, guess what? You're going to have to be replacing that fascia, and that's going to start leaking money to you for your company. So that's where it's little things obviously make a dent in the profit.
Yeah, you die by a million punches here. This is something I've definitely preached. Processes, you got to have it down. It doesn't matter if it's marketing, sales, or it's fulfillment. There's too many companies who just operate on this is how we've always done it, and that's how we're gonna keep it.
And that's where I think it's a problem. How could you think that you're going to scale if you don't have systems? If everything relies on one person or everything is it's just a guessing game, how are you going to know? How
Hmm.
are you going to go? How are you going to know? Okay, we had 30 jobs this month. But how much money did you actually make on it, or how quickly? Yeah, you sold 30 jobs, but how many actually got installed? So until that's not installed, you're not counting on that cash because it hasn't hit your bank account. So it's really hard for you to grow under that system, the system of not having a system, right?
Yeah, it's definitely a system when you don't have one, for sure.
Mm.
And so the main thing is just making sure those processes are in place to have SOPs for every single step, documenting the job sites to make sure that someone doesn't say something about the fascia, things like that. That's how someone really starts to tighten up that profitability then, if that's
Yes,
correct.
SOPs, checklists, clear handoffs, and accountability.
Hmm.
it has to have a clear owner. Every stage of the process has to have a clear owner. Right at before the contract, let's say the contract is signed, before sale production takes on that job, sales needs to ensure that production has everything they need to make this job successful. And
Okay.
then after the build is on, then your QC has to make sure that your collections department, your AR department has everything they need to be able to bill this homeowner. And obviously, in order to close it out, then AR needs to have a clear checklist. Okay, has this been paid? Has the COC been collected? Everything. Has the change order been signed here? That right there, everything. You have to have systems.
I
There's
love
no
the
way to
fact that you
do it.
said everyone's got to own it. Like someone has to own it. Otherwise, it's just no nothing's going to get taken care of. Nobody's going to be held accountable. Nobody's going to know who to like train if nobody owns it, right? So I love the
So,
fact that you said that.
so on my from my experience, I've gone through a lot. I've seen that a lot of the blame game,
Oh,
production blames sales, sales blames production, AR is blaming both of them because one sold something that they shouldn't, and the other one didn't let them know. So it's definitely accountability. Once you have accountability, you have to stop it with the blame game. You need to. This is your task, and this is your checklist. This is your SOP. This is how things get done. Then it moves forward. Right there, you're running a lean machine.
mm. Is that what helped you run a tight ship when you were over at Best Choice?
Yes, sir. It is a huge company, and definitely at one point I was managing 8 branches. So, in order for me to be able to run a tight ship, I did have to have clear visibility
Hmm.
where every job was. We used dashboards. It was a lot of ownership, and just visibility is key. You need to know, like, you as a roofing owner, you need to walk into your office and know exactly where every job is at. So you ask yourself at the Friday meeting or the Monday meeting, hey, where are these jobs? And if the person that's in charge of AR, if AR automatically can't tell you how much money is outstanding, we have a problem. And so does production, and so does sales.
100%. Like reporting, another huge one that I preach. So I really appreciate that you're like affirming them because if you don't have any reporting, you don't got a business here. You don't got.
You don't. You think you sold a job and you're thinking, I had this one. This one was really funny. They sold a job. It was like $75,000. And that's a pretty big deal for a
Right.
roof, right? For a residential roof.
Oh wow.
And the home the sales guy went crazy. He's like, yes, I killed it. And he was like top dog that month. Guess what? First of all, the margins weren't there. But when I always say that, what I call it Murphy's Law, when one thing goes wrong, everything else is going to go wrong.
Oh
It
no.
just happens. So as soon as the margins weren't there, the owner started freaking out. How could you sell this at that price? I'm like, that's it. This job is going left. Exactly. Everything happened. One of the worst homeowners that you could deal with. So always constantly nitpicking. So we had to go back there because QC wasn't on site. They weren't supervising. They weren't doing their job. And guess what? The profit wasn't there. We actually paid to put on that roof. So
Yeah, it's always the customers who you discount it to, or like those are always the, let's put it lightly, the most irritating customers to work with.
so ones that you do favors for.
Yeah, and also like if you go super cheap, I feel like that's also like a huge indicator to somebody who doesn't understand quality. So therefore they need to pick whoever is going to be the cheapest guy on the $75,000 roof, and then you paid for it at that point. So,
Mhm. So here's my thing. My advice to sales guys, you need to trust yourself. You need to know that you're good at sales, and you need to know the value that you bring to this client. If the client isn't able to see it, then sometimes it's best to walk away because you don't want every business. Not all business is good business.
hmm. Yeah, that's definitely even something I need to remind myself. So thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah,
I mean,
sometimes you have to know when to walk away.
Yeah, that's definitely a very good skill. And when you were at Best Choice or even now with On Top Roof Support, do you guys implement any AI? Like, I feel like it's the best conversation to possibly have right now.
So yeah, AI is actually interesting because AI is a tool that could help you, but it's only if you have, if you have your systems in place. Meaning,
Mm-hmm.
right now we use AI to save time,
Mm-hmm.
repeatable processes, to create SOPs for customer communication. It's just quicker, right?
Right.
And to gather for reporting,
Mm-hmm.
information for reporting, that's great. But where I think it is kind of overhyped is when someone thinks, or a business owner thinks, that AI is going to come and fix their problems. No. AI is not going to fix a broken operation. It's only going to help you um, just create your mess quicker. It just helps you do the wrong thing faster.
That's true. That's true. And I know a lot of people, I feel like this is a topic some people don't have, but AI doesn't generate brand new things. It takes whatever you give it and it just like it pumps out something. So if you anyways have bad processes, like what do you expect? If you don't.
Correct. It's not, yes, AI thinks for itself. It doesn't. It does. You could, but you have to prompt it. You have to lead it to do what you want it to get the result that you want. So if you don't have a process or you don't have an equation to give it, how is it going to give you results?
Mm-hmm. Which I did actually recently speak with a COO who was like all about profit margin. He started a commercial division and he was like super on the reporting for financial, like I guess it's just a bunch of financial reporting. I'm not that well rounded in it, which I was just
Mhm.
curious. Is there any mistakes that people make that's very common throughout the entire process, other than not having an owner, not documenting your processes, and like dying by a million punches? Like, is there any other specific issues that happen during job closeout that a roofing company
Job
owner could try and avoid?
Yeah, job closeout definitely is a tricky one. You have to do well. From my experience, I could tell you that the longer that you take to send out that certificate of completion, the longer that homeowner has been looking at their roof or their job, and they're going to be nitpicking.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to take longer to sign it. So that right there could cause you a problem. Why? Because now you're going to have to go back and do repair punch out items. So if you don't have that immediately and you don't submit your invoice to get paid, if you don't send it out immediately, if you're waiting a couple weeks because oh my God, I'm too overwhelmed, I'm wearing too many hats, and then you took forever to pay that invoice, you're gonna take forever to send out that invoice. Guess what? You're gonna take forever to follow up on it. So right there, it's gonna cost you money.
Right, because you're not even going to get paid because you're wearing too many hats and you're sending out the invoice 2 3 weeks later, and then what if they don't pay?
I saw a company, and you would say, I swear, in this industry, that's why I love roofing so much. I love it. Every day it's a different thing. And
Right.
everyone that knows me knows that I always talk about roofing like if it were like if I'm going out to a battlefield. It's every day it's a different problem, but they're all the same. They're all fixable and they get fixed the same way.
Hmm.
And I had a company that I walked into one time and they had outstanding money. They expected that when I sat down and I did an audit for them, guys, how are you expecting this homeowner to pay $300 that you were off? You sent them a final invoice and they're still off $300. That seems like a you problem, and now you're taking a hit. If you would have realized this earlier, then maybe something could be done, but not at this point.
Hmm. Yeah, it's always funny how like the huge companies are always the ones that are like the least organized.
And isn't that sad?
Yes.
I think that's sad because you're huge, but you're only, if you're this huge being disorganized, imagine being organized. You could be the greatest.
Yeah. It's also like shocking because you talk to them and then you're like, how do you have 5 locations? Like how did that happen?
Um,
Which I don't know. I've
the
never really spoken to someone like that. I just assume that like I've spoken to some companies, but have you ever spoken to any very large companies that are super disorganized?
Yes, and I've seen them. Yeah, scale, and that's where they brought me in. I,
Which, yeah, yeah. I was curious. Okay, then to map out, do you like ever map out like the full process from job close to closeout? Like, do you kind of have that
oh
mapped
yeah,
out for most
yeah.
people?
From contracted to closeout, definitely. I come in, I create a system for you. I create a workflow that has proven that works.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what On Top does. We come in there. We're not, when I tell you we're not consultants and we're not VAs, no, we're your actual back office operations. So we'll come in, we'll create a system for you. You need to trust us because we know what we're doing and we're going to help you scale. So we create that whole process. Meaning, if that contract, do we have everything we need to move it over to production? Now at production, when it hits that stage, then are we pulling the permits on time? Or do we have HOAs if it's applicable? Has the solar been removed? What type of solar? What materials? Do we have enough? We call our supply house. So it's everything. We're thoroughly in there. We create a system for them.
Yeah, and I would be curious to know a little bit about the insurance process. Now, I've spoken to some companies, and I know a lot of companies who are currently still trying to do insurance, but a claim might get approved in 6 months, and it's an ACV policy, and it's a percentage of the home's value. Like, have you seen any issues right now with insurance?
Definitely. Oh, we're in Florida. We're
Oh,
based out of Florida,
goodness.
but
Oh,
we
no.
service all of the United States. Um, right now, everybody knows this. Everyone in the business in the industry knows the situation that Florida is in. So there is a shift to retail at the moment. But there are still some insurance claims here and there. I have been hearing a lot that they are ACV,
Hmm.
and that's becoming a problem. But hopefully, waiting for a storm. But insurance, everyone should just go retail.
Right.
Just go retail, and let's not, like, you can't create a business model around something that's unpredictable. You would
Right.
think that in Florida we would be hit. It's been 2 years since we got hit from with a hurricane, with a huge storm. So that game is kind of hard. And plus, they're kicking out all the insurance companies, as we knew. So they're heading out, like they're leaving the state, and
Really?
it's really tricky. Yeah.
What do you mean they're kicking them out? Like they're like
Well,
the companies can't insure anyone anymore?
no, they're well, companies are dropping homeowners
Oh,
quickly. They're dropping them fast. So it's yeah, and insurance companies, they're leaving the state.
huh. I mean, I kind of do get it. Like, I've honestly seen or heard through the grapevine of Florida roofing companies that do lots of money, only insurance. Because it's
Hmm.
like, that's like the place to do it. Like, the hurricane comes through and bang, you make $100 million in a year. So it's like, yeah, Florida's always seemed like a tough state for that, but I didn't know they were dropping homeowners now.
Yeah, they are. They are. It's a tough state. Ugh. It's tough in every aspect.
Right.
Production wise, it's extremely tough. And there's roofing companies everywhere. So
Yeah.
it's a very competitive market. But insurance is insurance. I mean, there a storm is eventually going to hit, but what happens when you have a season where it's been 2 years since we get a storm? What happens now? And then no, we had one last no 2 years ago, and it didn't do any damage. So it's like that your business model needs to adapt to times. You can't only depend on insurance.
Yeah,
You
and
have to have
also,
premium.
right, your only money comes from someone's house being torn to the ground. Like that's your stream of income. And I just don't know if that's also something I'd want to like, lay my head down at night wishing for a storm. I've seen so many Facebook groups where they're like, I just hope for a storm. But it's like some homeowner who 9 to 5 doesn't have $9,000 to shell out for a roof. And like the second a hailstorm hits, you think you're bawling.
For a deductible, that's the thing. So the deductible or the hurricane deductible is really expensive.
Right.
So yeah, that's sad. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm like one of those people that I'm like, hey, let's get the industry moving because things
Right.
are slow. Um, I don't want to see that homeowner, lose their house, but a hailstorm here and there, they don't have to pay a full deductible.
Right, right. I understand it's not out of malicious intent for sure. Like we work with insurance, or like roofing insurance companies, like that only do claims, and I just don't know if
Mhm.
it's like the right move for many people, especially with the claim times. And then also, isn't it 5% of your home's value or the insured value down there in Florida? I heard somebody else on a podcast say that.
For the hurricane deductible, I
5%
believe.
really?
I believe so, yes. I
Oh,
believe the hurricane deductible. hmm
that is
But
insane.
a regular deductible could go anywhere from 500 to 2,500. It just depends.
Okay, it wasn't that bad because from what I've heard, maybe it was just like I haven't had a lot of podcasts, but from what I've heard, it's been like nuts. Like if it's 5% of your insured value, that's like 20 G's for a roof that's not 20 G's.
So yeah, pretty much. I've seen $13,000 deductibles, $17,000 deductibles during hurricane. That was during Hurricane Ian.
That's yeah, that's
And you see, that's where it becomes tough because not everyone has good credit
mhm,
to finance their deductible.
right. And then
So
also, what about the people covering the deductibles? Isn't that's like basically
that's
fraud, right?
illegal.
Yeah, yeah. I
That's
was gonna
illegal.
say that's it's not a good idea, but I've seen like Facebook ads being ran for it because I'm in the ad
If
library.
if they do that, they should rethink the way they're advertising because that's definitely insurance fraud, and that's a big no-no.
Okay, okay. I just wanted to confirm that. Which another one I was going to ask, is there any other stories you've had like auditing companies? So, hey, maybe someone's in the situation and you could give a story of someone in a scrambled situation.
Well, I have this one, and it was right after Hurricane Ian.
Hmm.
Um, that's when that I was brought in. We need you. And I'm like, okay. When I
Right.
walked in there, right after Hurricane Ian, I was overseeing three branches at that moment when I got brought in. And everything was just chaotic because they were selling. They were selling. They couldn't put the roofs on fast enough. But there was so much operational chaos that when I walked in, I remember I would leave the office just auditing these files and just seeing where everything was at because first of all, they weren't keeping up the CRM up to date. They weren't having all the information they needed for you to know. So you had to dig into these files. I found 30 roofs loaded, 30 roofs
What's
loaded
loaded?
with the material on.
Oh,
30 roofs loaded, no money in the account. So pretty much, and they were sitting there for at least 2 months,
2 months. That
and
has to.
nobody had an idea of that. When I went to the owner and I'm like, do you know this is the situation you're in? What? And I'm like, let's start collecting. So that's the craziest one that these things could happen. I During that time, one homeowner did actually do his roof with the free material that he was given. And that was a fun time collecting that money and having that conversation with this homeowner.
That's that's definitely an interesting situation. 30
Yeah.
roofs?
30
I mean,
roofs loaded.
2 months? Doesn't that do damage to the top? Like, hey, forgive my ignorance. I'm the marketing guy, but like, doesn't that do damage eventually?
Eventually, no, it's roofing material.
Hmm.
It's a roof in a box.
Right.
So yeah, but these roofs were already torn up because it
Uh-huh.
was right after the storm. So they just sit there. They just sat there. But it's not an ideal situation. For me, material shouldn't be up on the roof more than a week. Worst
Uh-huh.
case scenario, a week, just because let's say inclement weather and you couldn't install, but it should not sit there more than a week.
Okay. Well, then forgive my ignorance for this one too, but isn't that like unsafe? Would it slip? Like, I don't know.
So they put it right on the ridge,
Right, right.
so it won't. Sometimes it has. Maybe the drip edge slipped, or maybe a box of nails, or fasteners, but more times than not, it does not slip.
Okay. Because I've seen them, and I do remember talking with someone who had sold a job, and it sat up there for 2 weeks, but 2 months. I don't know. Not the install guy, I'm the marketing guy, but didn't know what that
That's
might look
why I
like.
came in and I fixed that problem.
What happened with the 30 though? Did we
The
get those
30,
like?
no, we got them installed, we got the money collected, and everything took its course, and everything, it got solved. That's why it was called, after that they called me the fixer. They're like, there's not a problem she can't fix.
Hmm.
I've seen it all, Carol. I've seen a lot. I've seen, I have a funny story that I tell everyone, and it's like, one homeowner called me one day. They killed my pink flamingo.
What?
I'm like, oh my God, now we have a problem. We killed this person's pet. I'm like, okay, sir, wait. My flamingo, my pink flamingo. And he just started yelling at me. I'm like, sir, I need you to slow down because I need to understand what happened. And he's telling me, and he said that a nail fell and a nail popped his pink flamingo floaty. I went on Amazon and I bought him one. So it's like that. I've had that. I've had a roof cave in during a replacement. It started raining, pouring, and homeowners like, it's leaking. I went out there and I'm like, I looked up and I'm like, hey, brace yourself. Like, let's try to protect all the electronics as much, but the ceiling's gonna cave in. And as I got to my house, he called me that the ceiling, it did in fact cave in. But we already had everything set up. I already had the fans. I already had everything ready for this to be fixed. And I told the homeowner, I told him this might happen. No, brace yourself. It is going to happen. But we're going to be here for you. It's construction. It's repairable. Homeowner was extremely appreciative. I got a 5-star review out of it. So
That's first of all amazing customer service that you somehow got a 5-star review when their roof caved in. I think I would have been livid. Just
it's construction. It happens. We can't control nature. Nature. It's an act of God. It's a Florida storm. Florida storms just pop up
mhm.
out of nowhere, and it's like you think it's a hurricane that's happening, and no, it's just 25 minutes of a severe storm, and then it just goes away. So it was one of those. And we did tell the homeowner, hey, we're here for you. We're not gonna abandon you. We're gonna take care of absolutely everything, and everything's gonna be up to standard as it was before.
That's
And we
insane.
did go beyond and beyond, above and beyond. Sorry.
I'm so glad I don't do business to consumer because I couldn't even imagine getting a phone call about my pink floaty flamingo blowing up and dying.
I'm telling you, I've seen a lot of things. So it's like, yeah, it's fun. I love the industry. I love roofing. I think it's a great industry to be in. You learn a lot from your about yourself through it.
Yeah, I'm just kind of speechless. I don't even I'm like business. I mean, you're also going to meet such crazy people because it's just everybody. It's everybody and everyone's so different and it's all in their homes. And yeah, I don't know. Hats
It's
off
all
to
in,
you.
it's all in their homes. Like you have the cat ladies, you you have the weird ones that invite you for cocktails after. Like, okay. You have it all, but honestly, it's such a satisfying industry because you are helping people at the end of the
Hmm.
day. You
Right.
are helping people. I had one homeowner. She I get teared up when I speak about her because she was an amazing homeowner, and her husband had passed, and he was saving, and he always told her that his dream was to have a metal roof. A metal roof. He was going to leave her with a metal roof, and he was saving for that. By the time he saved, he had passed, and she ended up finishing up the rest. Right, she was saving the rest of the money, and she had it. And when she came to us, she's like, "I'm so excited because this is an homage, I guess, to her late husband, her getting the metal roof." So it's gratifying.
Right. I mean, you are replacing people's roofs, you're protecting them. So yeah, it definitely It seems like you kind of like a crazy environment. Just, I don't know if that's
I I thrive in chaos, and that's why I created On Top Roof Support. It's give me your chaos, I'll handle it. You go out there, be the best person that you could be. Go out, kick ass in sales, be great at it. Let me handle the operations because we're the best.
well, where could someone find On Top Roof Support and get in touch with you?
So through our socials, our handle is On Top Roof Support. We also do have our website on toproofsupport.com. And then there you can find our phone number and just DM us.
Perfect. I'll drop them in the comments, and I appreciate you guys all coming for the episode, and stay tuned for the
Thank
next
you.
one.
Thank you so much.